Winston Churchill, the former British Prime Minister, once said, "When I look back on all these worries, I remember the story of the old man who said on his deathbed that he had had a lot of trouble in his life, most of which had never happened." It's easy to talk about fears and encourage others to face their fears, but sometimes it's harder to take our own advice. This happened to me last summer when I decided to do a triathlon. After running races and doing marathons, I thought this would be a natural progression. For those of you who don't know, the triathlon consists of a swim, a bike, and a run. Now, if I had my druthers, I would prefer that there would be no swim portion of that. I knew going in that the swim portion was going to be my biggest hurdle. I practiced for months in the pool on my swim stroke and getting everything just perfectly. I was ready for my practice run. I went down to Lucky's Lake with some of my friends to practice my open water swim. For those of you who don't know, Lucky's Lake is out near Universal. It's this big lake in the back of somebody's yard, believe it or not. His name is Lucky. Before you go to Lucky's Lake, you go onto the website and you have to sign a waiver. I have to admit, after reading the waiver, I was a tiny bit afraid because the waiver mentioned things like gators, wildlife, and drowning in 20 feet of water. But I said, no, I'm not afraid. I've done all those laps in the pool. I'm ready. So Saturday, I piloted my friends in the car, and we go down. I was looking so cute. I knew I wasn't going to drown because I looked cute, and who drowns when they're cute? Lucky gives us the start, which is a dog barking, by the way. About 75 people jump into the lake. I jump in too. And I start to swim, and I look down, and I see nothing. I mean, nothing. At first, the water was a pale yellow, and then it just gave way to black. And I panicked. I panicked and immediately stood up. But guess what? There was no standing up in 20 feet of water. All that swim instruction went out the window. The only thing I could manage was a dog paddle back to the shore. While my friends continued across the lake, I stood there trying to struggle just to get off the shore. It has been said that waiting to develop courage is just another form of procrastination. The most successful people take action while they're afraid. And trust me, I was very afraid. I was so afraid that I couldn't even articulate what I was afraid of. But I knew I had to overcome this fear. First things first, I went out and I hired a swim coach, an open water swim coach this time. I practiced every day through the summer, and I gave myself a deadline. End of summer, I'm crossing that lake. So the day before my triathlon, I put on my lipstick and my little Speedo because nothing overcomes fear like some lipstick. I went down to Lucky's. My stomach was in knots. I looked out over that 1 kilometer stretch of water and I thought, this isn't going to happen today, but I'm going to do the best that I can do. I made it to the first buoy and I thought, I'm still feeling good. I'll go to the second buoy and then I'll turn around. Then I made it to the second buoy and I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to go for the third one. So I get to the third one, and by that point, I was closer to the shore on the other side than I was from where I came back. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I made it to the other side. Woohoo! The only problem is I had to go back. My swim coach absolutely refused to go get the car and come pick me up.
Not enough lipstick.
I got back in that water and I swam on back. I made it. The total trip time took me 20 minutes.
Wow.
An entire summer spent worrying, in fear, afraid of gators drowning and everything else, chalked up to a 20-minute round trip.
Wow. Wow.
Don Ruiz says that death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive and be who we truly are. We've all taken a big step in overcoming the fear of public speaking by coming in here today. But all too often we decide not to do something based on our fears, be they real or imagined. I'm not gonna apply for that job. I don't have enough experience, I'll never get it. I'm not gonna ask that person out on a date. They're just gonna laugh in my face. I'm not gonna start my own business, I'll fail. I'll be poor, I'll have to wear Walmart clothes. I'm not saying that we should all line up to jump out of a plane or trek up Mount Kilimanjaro. Some fears keep us safe, but other fears keep us trapped. Not facing your fears and overcoming them may lead to the biggest fear of all, and that's the fear of regret. Thank you.